We're battle-born, battle-tested, kids of the black hole. We survived the onslaught of mediocrity on the teenage rebellion. There's never been a just cause, only the desire to do what we love, and we love music. The places you go, the people you meet, it's always at the crossroads where you're able to stop and realize how far you've come to get to this point. We make our opportunities and take the chance. We believe in what we do and what we represent. Honor, loyalty, respect. This is not a bumper sticker on the back of my old beat-up truck. This is a credo. This is my code. This is not a story we penned, but we add chapters every chance we get. Our legacy is forged in iron, and it will always be my mission to keep the flame burning eternally, until that day comes that I am not fit to do so. We hoist our glasses to those we lost along the way, and will always remember until we are gone. And I will forever be an American punk.
Where are we heading right now, Esteban?
We're on our way to Cuba. Cuba. First stop,
Havana GoGo.
Ricky Ricardo Museum.
September 11th, 2015. We are on a flight from Panama City to Havana, Cuba. Should be there in about 2 hours. Good plans.
You think you're so smart? Understand me. Things can be how you hope they be. What you don't know is they'll never be alright. As long as you say you don't believe. And it may take your whole lifetime, but you'll find out in the end, oh yeah, you were the one that was so wrong. And it may take your whole lifetime, but you'll find out in the end, oh yeah, you were the one that was so wrong.
So coming to Cuba had a lot to do with wanting to sort of get the Ramones legacy somewhere where previously there was no chance to get it out here. So why Cuba? I guess because it's the final frontier.
One of the things I love about playing music is traveling to places that I've never been before and playing music in places that I've never been before. So why Cuba? Because it was there and I hadn't been there yet. And going with CJ Ramone and playing the music of the Ramones as one of the first punk rock bands to come from America like that, that's a pretty big honor to be able to play those songs here with CJ. You know, music I grew up on. It seems pretty fitting that coming over here with CJ Ramone, you know, it was the way that we came, because the Ramones were the first American punk rock band, and we got to play all those songs for the people of Cuba for the first time.
It's really been on my mind for a long time to come. I was working on it for the last few years, trying to work out a way to get to Cuba, and we just got really lucky. We got really lucky to be the first ones in.
Why Cuba? Never been to Cuba. Always wanted to come to Cuba. CJ called and said, "You want to go to Cuba?" I said, "Yep." He said, "You want to know when?" I said, "Nope, I'm there. Let's go. We're doing it."
I first read about Cuba from when I was a kid. I read a lot of Hemingway stuff, so I was always interested in coming here. Kind of, I guess I developed like a picture in my head of what it would be like here. And the fact that U.S.-Cuban relations were not good back from when I was a kid made me all the more interested in it.
Got me a girl in Acadia, my Evangeline, but I ain't
Bienvenido al mejor centro cultural que tiene La Habana, el submarino amarillo. Vamos, un aplauso.
at night when I'm dreaming, long hair blowing in the breeze.
So the first night we came, we went to Yellow Submarine and we got to see a bunch of local musicians get up on stage. We were not surprised by the talent level because I had heard a while ago that there are some really good music schools here, that the education level was really good here. So I wasn't surprised that there were very good musicians. I was surprised that they played some of the songs that we heard, particularly the ZZ Top songs, because ZZ Top is so Americana that I would have expected to hear like some of the more mainstream rock stuff and some of the more classic stuff, but ZZ Top I was especially surprised and very happy to hear.
And I think that out here, the kids are gonna get a real fucking kick out of seeing, you know, the Ramones music coming down to Cuba and being played in a way, you know, that it should be played, you know, in a respectful, you know, like a celebration of the legacy. And that's a treat, man. You know, a lot of guys didn't get to see the Ramones growing up. And like I always tell CJ, you know, it's not every day you get to see a real Ramone out in the wild.
De Scott, rica en vitaminas A y D y calcio, ayuda a desarrollar huesos fuertes.
And the miles traveled touring become a roadmap on my skin. Tattoos like scars become the snapshots of a blurry past. Memories collected that will be with me always, even in death. A cultural exchange in sweat and blood. Pain is the bond in this art that is a universal language everywhere you go. A brotherhood and sisterhood of the unowned and unconcerned. Art in all its forms guides us through a world shadowed by different strands of ideals and beliefs. Everywhere I've been, I will always remember.
The interchange between Cuba and the United States Revolution.
That's good.
So this is the hand. This is my hand.
Right.
Take my hand, and this is the eye. Is the the inside of the person.
Right.
It's the feeling part. It's the real I from de donde crece la palma. From Cuba.
From where Cuba's born.
We did that one and this one.
That's in Canada.
No, from Dutchman.
Oh, in the Dutch? What did? Dutch?
A sincere man am I, from the land where palm trees grow, and I want before I die my soul's verses to bestow. I'm a traveler to all parts, and a newcomer to none. I am art among the arts, with the mountains I am one. I know how to name and class all the strange flowers that grow. I know every blade of grass, fatal lie and sublime woe. I have seen through dead of night, upon my head softly fall, rays form of the purest light, from beauty celestial. I have seen wings that were surging from beautiful women's shoulders, and seen butterflies emerging from the refuse heap that molders. I have known a man to live with a dagger at his side, and never once the name give of she by whose hand he died. Twice for an instant did I my soul's reflection espy, twice when my poor father died, and when she bade me goodbye. I trembled once when I flung the vineyard gate, and to my dread, the wicked hornet had stung my little girl on the forehead. I rejoiced once and felt lucky the day that my jailer came to read the death warrant to me that bore his tears and my name. I hear a sigh across the earth. I hear a sigh over the deep. It is no sign reaching my hearth, but my son waking from sleep. If they say I have obtained the pick of the jeweler's trove, a good friend is what I've gained, and I've put aside love. I have seen across the skies a wounded eagle still flying. I know the cubby where lies, the snake of its venom dying. I know that the world is weak and must soon fall to the ground. Then the gentle brook will speak above the quiet profound. While trembling with joy and dread, I have touched with hand so bold a once bright star that fell dead from heaven at my threshold. On my brave heart is engraved the sorrow hidden from all eyes. The son of a land enslaved lives for it, suffers and dies. All is beautiful and right, all is music and reason, and all like diamonds is light that was cold before its season. I know when fools are laid to rest, honor and tears will abound, and that of all fruits the best is left to rot in holy ground.
Your attention, please. This is Dick Chapman, one of your official civil defense broadcasters with a special message. Military authorities have advised us
consola o tocadiscos de sonido estereofónico RCA Victor tiene 2 sistemas de reproducción en uno y 2 bocinas independientes.
También, mira, te puedo contar de cómo hemos sobrevivido ante haciendo punk, ¿entiendes? Cómo podemos pasar 5 años o 10 años, en el caso mío, tocando punk. Mira, te cuento, aquí en Cuba no hay tiendas de instrumentos, ¿sabes? Aquí nosotros tocamos con guitarras rusas, ¿sabes? De cuando la Unión Soviética existía, que Cuba y la Unión Soviética tenían relaciones, ¿entiendes? Como hermanos.
Es muy difícil conseguir cualquier tipo de instrumento, de cualquier tipo. Imagínense en ese año, ¿no? En el 94 era peor. Nosotros tocábamos con instrumentos del campo socialista de muy mala factura. Las cuerdas las sacábamos de cables de corriente eléctrica y telefónica y eso. Tocábamos la batería con parches hechos de placas de rayo X, esto que se usa para hacer las placas, ¿no? En los hospitales. Cosas así increíbles, las púas, o sea, los espectros, las uñas, las hacíamos con placas, discos las cortábamos y hacíamos. Fue difícil, ¿no? Así estuvimos muchísimos años.
O nos nutrimos mucho de donaciones que nos hacen, o sea, a la agencia cubana de rol le hacen donaciones y vienen equipos, como los pibes. Las pantallas que tenemos, por ejemplo, nosotros, las pantallas de los equipos de guitarra, nos lo dejaron los Sepultura, que son pantallas que están bien chingonas, también.
You have that. You have kids that are doing punk rock and doing metal because they need some place to put that energy. If they didn't have that, I'm sure it would be much different.
I think rock and roll and punk rock specifically, you know, has always been the voice of the people without a voice.
Because I've seen at 49 years old, I've seen many, many musical styles come and go. Very few of them contain any real emotion or promise of anything great. But punk rock, I think since its inception, but you know, in New York where punk rock was born, it came mostly out of the art movement and the people who were really low down on the ladder in society, and the spirit that it carries comes from there. And I hope that in a place like Cuba, that message will carry on. And you guys have a very unique opportunity to ensure that as music gets more and more popular here, that punk rock in its purest form, not necessarily in its biggest, most grandiose stadiums and all of that type of stuff, because I don't understand how that's punk rock at all, but in its most pure form, that it survives and does well here, because it really is music for kids and people who are not necessarily on the top of the, at the top of the mountain. It's the people who fight and struggle every day, and those are the people that, that's where I come from. So to me, that's the most important people. That's who I play to. That's who I try to, I shouldn't say speak for, but that's where I speak from. the title track of our new record, Last Chance to Dance.
Increíble, ¿sabes? Te digo que si el Ramone estoy viendo videos así, es que soy así. Los Ramones estoy viendo videos, para mí es increíble, para mí es una cosa especial, ¿entiendes? Y haberlo conocido más especial todavía. Y yo creo que eso puede empezar a ayudar a que la gente cambie un poco, a que escuche más, atienda más al punk, ¿entiendes?
Parte del hacer cultura en Cuba. Ramón ahora mismo es parte de eso, de que es un elemento fuerte, es uno de los eslabones de la cadena que nosotros comenzamos también a crear en Cuba cuando Tendencia comenzó.
I'm very conscious of that seed because I am a product of it. I was that kid in 1979 probably at a Ramone show. So I have a connection with those types of kids.
That's, I guess, what my hope is that people that were at these shows go out and start investigating more about American punk rock, about East Coast and West Coast punk rock, you know. Someone said there was a kid up front playing bass like he was, playing air bass like he was CJ. Hopefully that kid goes out and starts a band someday. You know, if 5 people that were at those shows started punk rock bands tomorrow or next month, how great is that? You know, it's I mean, everything's still wide open here. So much could happen, you know.
You know, the Ramones were, they were considered like, they were called like the Johnny Appleseed band. In America, there's a children's story about Johnny Appleseed who travels around and he plants apple seeds for apple trees and they sprout up and they grow everywhere. And that's kind of what the Ramones did. That was their gift to the world, is when they came out, everything was dominated by virtuoso players who played 12-minute songs, and they would do complex song arrangements, and everything was really music kind of became like this thing that only the ultra trained and ultra rich could do because you needed the best equipment and you needed to be able to take lessons and all that. The Ramones came out, and when they started touring around, they inspired so many young kids who were intimidated by all the bands that they listened to, because these kids had no hope of ever being able to play at that level. But the Ramones came through and played simple, fast songs with really nice melodies, very powerfully, and inspired a whole new group of people to get into music. And the outcome of that is limitless at this point. Now you have, I mean, so many bands, and of course we're talking a couple of generations later, but so many bands inspired by the Ramones. And that was really my main drive to come to Cuba to do that here. If the Ramones music could start a revolution in the late 70s in music and get all these kids to get reinvigorated and really get into music, I was really hoping that somehow me coming here and playing those same songs with the same spirit and with the same energy would do the same here.
¿Qué clase de récord tiene? ¿Cuántas peleas tiene ganadas y cuántas peleas tiene perdidas? ¿Qué te crees tú?
You hear me? All right. This is one of my last album called Last Chance to Dance. It's called Understand Me.
this is actually the perfect place for it to happen, because Cuba's been isolated by political as well as physical barriers for so long now that the kids here really haven't been exposed to a lot of that type of music. And I'm really happy that I was able to be the first one in and give them a little bit of taste of what's to come. Because behind me, I'm hoping that many other US punk bands will come. The kids in Cuba will be exposed to all of that, and it will start something completely new, a totally new punk rock scene here.
Punk rock has always been, or rock and roll, has always been able to sort of transgress. It just breaks down barriers. Cuba's a testament. Cuba has some of the finest, fucking heaviest, tightest, fucking most mind-blowing like metal bands I've ever seen live, you know? Like professional, fucking, like they understand what they're doing. It's not like they're interpreting and they're sort of like trying to be something. They've taken the genre of metal and they've put the Cuban stamp on it, and they've made it like a Cuban thing. Cuban metal is Cuban metal.
It hurt. No, it was soul crushing. And no, you know what? That kind of stuff. I mean, it's nice when people know your music, but sometimes it's exciting to have to prove yourself. You know, in a lot of places we don't have to prove ourselves anymore, you know, because we have this body of work that speaks for what we've done. But to come to a new place and to have to just go out there and tear it up so people know what you did, that's pretty awesome.
Every kid in that crowd was as much a part of it as I was. Like, it was important to them, it was important to me. As time goes on and more bands come here, it won't be as big of a deal. You get to some cities and you get jaded audiences. They're not jaded here. They don't even really know how to act. They don't know what they're supposed to do. They're just, it's as new to them as it was to us. We didn't know. A typical show, we'll say and do whatever the fuck we want. It doesn't matter. Here, we wanted to be respectful, which is not something other than just treating everyone with respect. It's not something you worry about on stage. You do what you want, you say what you want. It's your stage for that hour. But here, we realized we were all in it together. The audience, us, security, promoters, people working the venues, we were all just going, let's make this happen, let's make it cool, let's make it fucking amazing, and let's make it an important night. And everything we did felt that way here.
When all this stuff came together, you know, I think all this entire experience has been a celebration of a true, you know, DIY ethos and like a true DIY commitment to what we do, you know, as people. In the end, you know, nobody got paid for this show. Nobody got paid a dime. We came out here because we felt it was something we had to do.
It's definitely, we definitely planted the American punk rock flag firmly in the ground here. But going back to what I said earlier, it's kind of weird. It's like, as important as this playing here was, and as important as an event us being allowed to come here and play was, once we were on stage, once we were playing, we might as well have been in New York or Texas. We were just here playing to kids who appreciated it and had fun. And I say kids, meaning they could have been 60 or 16, didn't matter. But I mean, the people in the crowd. And seeing them sing along, saw a lot of people singing along to CJ's, the stuff off the new album and the last album. And that's the power of the internet. And the internet's, what, 3 months? 3 months here, people have been able to get on the internet. Those people looked up those songs, learned the songs, knew the lyrics. Just watching the smiles and the people, how much they enjoyed the show. I'm gonna take away a lot more when I get home and talk about it with my friends, my father, people who grew up during the Kennedy years, and it'll be more important when I sit down and talk about it. But honestly, it felt good to just get here and have it just be a normal fucking rock show and have it be just a great show.
It's probably one of the most, I think it's one of the most important things I've ever done musically. I don't know if there's, everywhere I've been before, you know, bands have been there before that blazed away. Most of the times it was the Ramones. But I think, you know, probably this is one of the most important things I've ever done as far as music goes in my life. And, you know, like I said, we were completely honored to be the first band in. There's a lot of bands other bands that I know that were really upset that we were gonna be here first before everybody. Everyone knows that if things continue the way they're going, that there will be a rush of American bands coming here. But to be the first one, of course, is really, really prestigious. And I'm definitely not the biggest punk rocker in America, or sell the most albums, or live in the biggest house, or drive the nicest car. But I think that I carry a direct lineage and directly carry the spirit of the Ramones. And being that the Ramones are the first punk band in the world anywhere, I felt it was really important for me to try to be in here first. And having achieved that, at this point, I don't know if there's anything that's really going to top that. If tomorrow one of my hands got cut off and I could never play again, I think I could safely say that I've done my part to try to promote punk rock around the world, and this would have been kind of my highest achievement at doing that. I think they would have loved to have been the first band to come to Cuba. I can't imagine that they would not have been completely excited to come. It's just an unbelievably unique opportunity, and given the fact that you know, for the most part, we would have been breaking new ground, I think they would have loved it. I think they would have understood the importance of it. Especially, like I said, they were the first punk band. So if anyone was deserving of being here, they would. And I hope that in some way, for the past 2 nights when we were on stage, they were looking down and giving us their blessing, because it was, it definitely was a very special situation. And just a really great feeling on stage.
Abre el camino Aragán, Muñones, Ilianita, mi nietecita, dame perritos. Muñones, abre el camino Aragán, vaya Ricardito, Lazarito, Pepito, todo, nene. Abre el camino Aragán. Y un alma toda nobleza con dolores profundos, por míseros desengaños, soporté miles regaños de la autora de mis días, que decía, son boberías, de muchacho no me canse, porque siempre a los cantantes confeídos solo le brindan falsías.